Pyometra, what is it? Could your dog get it? Get all the answers, including how you can help your dog naturally in this video. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Click there to subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell to sign up for notifications so you don't miss an update. And lastly, when you click that link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book. Pyometra, what is it? Well, pyo comes from the Latin word meaning pus, metra meaning uterus. So literally, pus in the uterus. Typically, we're dealing with a middle-aged, non-spayed female dog, as Pippi would be a great example if she weren't spayed. These dogs would typically come into a veterinary clinic with the history of being in heat 1 or 2 months ago. These guys are clinically sick. Many of the dogs have a history of increased drinking, increased urination, which is also sort of a big warning, because our trigger should go off in a veterinarian's mind when you see it coming in as a non-spayed female dog. Some dogs can have a condition called an open pyometra. So what that means is that the cervix is open and some of that pus is actually then dripping out. So you're seeing this kind of brownish or yellowish, whitish vaginal discharge. Pyometra can also be called a closed pyometra, in which the cervix is closed. And in this condition, there is no abnormal vaginal discharge. These guys, though, are really sick. And you're going to see this, non-spayed female dog who's especially lethargic, probably vomiting, perhaps diarrhea. She's going to have a really high, generally really high temperature. And upon abdominal palpation, you're going to sort of feel this almost distended, sort of doughy, likely what you're feeling is the uterus that's distended with all that pus. So anytime you see a dog coming into a clinic, especially a non-spayed female dog, with some of those clinical signs, then you're going to be thinking pyometra, you're going to want to get a diagnosis. So you're going to be doing an x-ray. If you look up there, that's kind of what you're going to see on an x-ray. If they're still not clear, they can go ahead and do an ultrasound and confirm it. In this situation, most veterinarians recommend that your dog is then spayed. And when I go back and think of many of the female dogs that I saw that had pyometra, in most of the time, that's what we were recommending. Let's get your dog spayed. As you can imagine, you're just removing all of that pus that's within the abdominal cavity and getting that out of your dog as quickly as possible. But not everyone wants to get their dog spayed immediately. Secondarily, many people just can't afford the surgery. It can be very costly at the time. So first, before I discuss the natural options, if your dog has a closed pyometra, your dog needs to get surgery. You need to deal with what's going on within that uterus. There are some veterinary hormonal treatments as far as prostaglandin, but those are only meant to be given when your dog has an open cervix and they have an open pyometra. If it's closed, there's no vaginal discharge, I would recommend getting your dog spayed. I've had a few different newsletter subscribers, YouTube subscribers discuss this specific pyometra remedy. And so I wanted to share it with you guys, maybe talk about my thoughts about it and how you could potentially apply it to your own dog. So one, this would just be applicable to a dog that has an open pyometra. They're having vaginal discharge and we're trying to deal with some of that infection naturally, as opposed to some of the veterinary options. So first, this natural treatment includes one, honey. They're suggesting Manuka honey. We have regular, this is non-pasteurized local honey. Second, they're suggesting turmeric. Here what we're using is 95% curcumin. This is the active ingredient isolated from turmeric. Third, they're also suggesting this remedy, vitamin C. A couple of things I can think about with the vitamin C. One, when you're giving fairly high doses, it can cause some natural contractions, i.e. diarrhea. So it may help in terms of dispelling some of those uterine contents. I think that probably makes the most sense to me how it works in combination. It may also have some sort of antibacterial effects, but really you're dealing with you're trying to expel what's in the uterus. You're trying to secondarily deal with the infection via the 95% curcumin or the turmeric and the honey. First, the honey. The honey dose is about 1/2 teaspoon per 10 pounds of body weight, and it's given 2 to 3 times a day. So for Pippi, we're gonna say you're gonna be about 3 teaspoons, which makes you about a tablespoon. Okay. For Pippi, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna give her. Pippi does not have Pyometra. I don't need her cause her uterus to contract, but I'm just gonna show you what she would get. So Pippi's getting 1 tablespoon. Her sample thing, Pippi will be getting 1 tablespoon of honey. Second, the 95% curcumin. I would be dosing our dogs at 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight twice daily. So Pippi's about 50 pounds. These are about 400 milligram capsules. I would start her out with sort of 1 of these capsules twice a day. These are the vitamin C capsules here. They're 1,000 milligrams per capsule. I would be starting Pippi on 1 to 2 of those twice a day. I'd initially start her on 1 twice a day, make sure it's not upsetting her stomach as well, she's not vomiting with it. And I would just mix the vitamin C capsule into the antibacterial concoction of the honey and the 95% curcumin. And I would be giving this to Pippi, my honey, my 95% curcumin, my vitamin C concoction 2 to 3 times a day. I would expect, it's going to take a good 7 days before you're going to start to see result. I'd expect you need to be giving this to your dog for 2 to 3 weeks. The Chinese medicine formula for Pyometra is called Yun-Nan-Pai-Yao. I'll put a link to it along with a link to the study that showed some of the results using this herbal formula. But it was a relatively small sample size. They were dealing with 10 dogs that had Pyometra. But dosing them based on body weight, they actually found 90% had success. So 9 out of those 10 dogs responded to this Chinese medicine formula. So it would be something like this. This is actually Chinese medicine formula for people that might have colds and flus, which we were dealing with in my family, currently so good. They can be pretty strong tasting. This one is in particular, but it works. I was happy to consume it. But this is something I know Pippi would not be super keen on. But because, as you can see, Pippi is just so persistent, she wants to try everything, I'm gonna give Pippi a little sample of this difficult to pronounce Chinese medicine formula for colds and flu. Okay, Pippi, I'm just gonna put a little teeny bit on my finger. No, I just don't want you to knock it over, Pipster. And you're gonna show the world of YouTube how you are not gonna like this. Here it is, it's just waiting for you. Oh, she's eating it. You eat everything. You're a crazy mutt. Here. The last remedy I want you guys to consider is this one. It's actually Allison, otherwise known as the active ingredient found in garlic. So of all the different plants that have been studied to be shown to have antibacterial properties, garlic, in particular the active ingredient in garlic called allicin, has been extensively studied, shown to be surprisingly effective. A standard garlic or allicin dose is about 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight twice daily. These are 1,000 milligram capsules, meaning Pippi would get half of a capsule or 500 milligrams. So, and I believe we have these 500 milligram capsules in here. Once again, this is something you're going to have to give for a minimum 7 days, more likely for 21 days. But if you've got a dog that has a Pyometra and you're just unable to see a veterinarian for different reasons, you want to try an alternative option, these are some of the options that I would have you consider. Okay, so let's just try Pipster with the garlic and see what you think of this. Aged garlic extract. You're going to have garlic breath tonight, Pippi. So there it is, once again, Pippi proving that you'll eat anything. You're a crazy mutt. Wow. Oh, and let me smell your breath. Her breath actually smells slightly better, if somewhat garlicky. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets on Pyometra. If you yet to do so, click up there to subscribe, click there to sign up for notifications, and then when you click the link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book.